that I had the opportunity to go and pick it up.
So before we go any further, I got to ask you, how was your vacation?
Oh yeah, so my family's got a caravan down in Dumfries. So I live in Ayrshire, and it's like an hour and a half's drive down to Dumfries. So it's not like abroad, but it's like a home away from home, and it's like a nice sweet escape. It's got a really lovely beach there, so it's nice just to chill out and enjoy the free time away.
Yeah, so what's it like playing hockey in the UK? Obviously, hockey's not that big in the UK, but for you guys, especially for you and for women's hockey, how big is it now in the UK?
So when I started out playing boys hockey.
Mhm.
I grew up with North Ayrshire Ice Hockey Club, and I dropped out at under 16s level because at the time in Scotland there was no under 18s league for different reasons. Like, people were going away to university, people were starting families, were getting like different jobs, and just like financially they couldn't commit to it. So at 16s level, I would have had to move up to under 20s, and just how hard physically it would have been, I chose not to. So that's when I heard about Solway Sharks Ladies, which again is in Dumfries. So I started playing women's for them. So they currently play in the North of England League. They're the only competing um, ladies team in Scotland in that league. The team I currently play for is called Ayrshire Amazons Women's Ice Hockey Team, and we are the only ladies team recreationally.
Oh wow. So obviously during this tough time, you guys are not playing yet, and what do you do just to do you guys do like weekly Zoom calls with your teammates to see how they're doing, catch up, and also what do you guys do just to keep ready training wise?
So at the start of like COVID and lockdown, we actually did have weekly Zoom meetings, and we were having quizzes. So the quizzes were hosted by our coach and our assistant coaches, and they were completely random, from general knowledge to sport to movies, to then we had like a generic hockey quiz.
Hmm.
And when the certain restrictions got lifted, we started doing more and more. So we began doing more off-ice conditioning and meeting up in smaller groups, to now the restrictions are lifted a little bit more, so we can meet up as a whole team. So we do off-ice conditioning, we do ball hockey sessions, and we do beach sessions, which is like hill sprints and stuff like that in the sand.
Hmm. Oh, that's awesome. So have they given you like any updates yet? I mean, obviously, what's it like over there in the UK? Is the numbers going down or is it still high?
Yeah, the numbers are going down and down each day. It's just completely crazy, and it feels so surreal. It's almost like we're in a dream.
Yeah, it's. I live in New Jersey in the United States, and here numbers are going up but down, and it's like
Yeah,
constantly going up and down. But hopefully, at some point, people start listening and wear masks. That's the most
yeah,
important thing is wearing masks. And but at some point, at least the sports are coming back now in the U.S.
yeah.
I'm just hoping for some sports in the UK to come back soon. And but have they given you updates when you guys can start like practicing in as a team group or no, not yet?
So currently the ice rinks are open in England, but not in Scotland. So we're actually, well, me and a few friends are planning a road trip down to the nearest ice rink, which is in Whitley Bay. So it's about 3 hours drive, and it would just be really good to get some ice time. The ice rink's opening date in Scotland is varied from rink to rink, but it seems to be start of September.
Oh wow, okay.
So hopefully soon.
Hmm. So, but before this pandemic started, and what's it like playing with your teammates in the women's hockey league, and what was your actually explain to me what was your most memorable game that you played in?
Yeah, so as I said, I grew up playing with the boys, so that was obviously a lot more competitive. I then jumped ship and went to Solway Sharks Ladies in Dumfries. That was lots of travelling, but for me, I wanted to continue playing hockey, and at that time, the Ayrshire Amazons weren't about. I live in Ayrshire, so the Ayrshire Amazons is the perfect team. It's local. It's what do you call it?
Oh,
It's just right there. It's a 15-minute drive compared to when I was at Solway. It was an hour and a half.
hmm. So
So
what did you learn in the other league, in the boys league? What did you learn from them, and what kind of advice they gave you?
So I would say it's a lot more harder with the boys because you're competing for your place. You're always trying to be better, be the best you can be, because you want that place in the team. You want to hit the ice. You want to touch the puck. So you need to be stronger. As a girl, I would say you need to work even harder to keep up with the boys because naturally they are muscular. They're muscular, and they are just like it's in the genetics that they're just overall better.
Hmm. So what position do you play mostly? Can you play multiple positions, or they you're specific one position, or can you play multiple positions?
Yeah, I'm a kind of mixed player. I started out as defence with the boys because I had a good slap shot, and then when I jumped ship to Solway and Amazons, I play centre.
Hmm. So I gotta ask you this. I saw a picture of you in the Penguins jersey. Are you a Penguins fan?
Absolutely.
So obviously, I think they're in. What are your thoughts on this NHL playoffs in the bubble? I think they're doing a great job, and obviously the Penguins. I think they're out now, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a Rangers fan, and we got swept. but what's it like seeing them doing a great job, and at least seeing hockey back, right? Which is a good thing.
Yeah, it's really exciting that hockey's back. Obviously, I'm heartbroken that my Penguins have been knocked
Yeah.
out, but it's just good to see it on TV and have a bit of escape time from the whole COVID situation.
Hmm. So I know there's a women's league out there, NWHL, if you heard of it. Um,
Yep.
so after you're playing in UK, would you consider playing in that league if they give you the opportunity?
I wouldn't consider myself good enough to play in that league. That league is for professionals, and I would say I'm nowhere near that level. But if the chance came, I would absolutely take it.
Hmm. You just, I mean, people. Whenever athletes say that, I keep telling them, don't doubt yourself. Just keep working hard.
Yeah.
And you get the chance, and I'm sure. I'm sure it's the talent over there. And how's it like? How's the practices there in UK? Are they like, or are the coaches like hard nosed on you guys? Or are they laid back? Or how do they do the practices there?
Well, as I said, with the boys, it was a lot more tougher. Whereas the girls, it's almost like we play for fun. It's not really competitive, but obviously everyone wants to still try their best and win the games. So I would say the coaches push you to be as good as you can be, but it's really up to you and the player yourself how much you're willing to give.
Hmm. So I want to get to your the recent interview with the Hockey Lady podcast, and obviously she does a great job, and she knows her hockey, and I was so honored when she came on my show. But what did you learn from that interview, and what kind of questions did she ask you, and what did you learn though, basically?
Just that there's so many people all over the world that are interested in hockey from her podcast. From me doing my podcast, I went on and listened to previous ones, and it's just really interesting to listen to different stories and different backgrounds. It's just hockey's just it's a global sport. It's all over the world, and for me, coming from Scotland, where it's not really big at all, I'm really trying to push it and get people to know that the UK is growing and it's going to be up there for one of the top hockey countries soon.
Hmm. So you have your own podcast too?
No, I don't at all, no.
Did you ever consider starting your own podcast during this pandemic?
I wouldn't say so. I personally think my accent is really funny and people would struggle to understand it. So I don't know, maybe someday, but
Hmm. So how many interviews have you done so far during this pandemic?
I've actually done 2 and this one will be my 3rd one.
Oh wow. So now I do this rapid fire segment with all my guests that come on the show. You ready for this?
No.
Um, so my first one is, what advice would you give these young kids or athletes that are trying to get to their goals, like you or these other athletes? What advice would you give these young kids?
I would say just keep going, do what you're doing, play for the love of the game, not to be the best player out there. You're not necessarily going to be the fastest skater, the player with the hardest shot. It's all about having fun.
Favorite food?
Probably pizza.
What is your most memorable game in your hockey career so far that you played in?
So when I was at under 18s level, I got invited to Great Britain trials, and as part of the trials all over the world, the IIHF were doing global games to try and promote women's hockey. So it was white versus blue, and I was part of Team White for GB, and it was like an in-house game with the girls from all over Great Britain at under 18s level. That
Hmm.
was probably the most memorable game I've played in.
Wow. So you said earlier they have a great slap shot, and how hard is it to practice that, and how long did it take you to craft that slap shot?
Well, personally, I don't really use the slap shot that much now because I don't think it's a very accurate shot. I much prefer doing wrist shots, but a slap shot is it's a really it's a good shot if you want it to go hard and fast. So it goes straight to the net if that's what you're good at. Um, I just practice outside in my back door. I've got a shooting pad and a net, and I would just go out after school or after college and go out and just hit pucks. Keep going, keep going, keep going until you master the skill. And then once you've mastered the skill, it almost becomes like muscle memory. You just kind of get used to it.
Do you still do that? The practice outside just to get better?
Yeah, absolutely. It's part of the game, and it's like it's just fun to keep wanting to do better and better yourself as a player.
Hmm. So who outside of Malkin and Sidney Crosby, who else did you look up to in the NHL?
There's so many amazing players. In terms of NHL, I've obviously Sidney Crosby, but if we jump over to women's hockey, Hilary Knight is an amazing player. She's a fantastic role model. Also, Sarah Nurse, she's absolutely amazing as well. Um, there's so many amazing players. That's a hard question. I'm going to go back to like Mario Lemieux,
Hmm.
Wayne Gretzky, Alexander Ovechkin. There's so many. There's a whole list.
Yeah. So speaking of the Women's Hockey League, I had two of them on the show. The first one was Kaylee Fratkin, if you know her, and Ali Tunstrom. I had both of them on
Yeah,
recently, and they're really good players. And
yeah.
has anyone from the Women's Hockey League given you advice also?
I've spoken to Lindsay Fry. She was one of the Olympians, and she's running her own ice hockey camps and stuff. So I spoke to her about tips and stuff, how to better myself, and because obviously she's a lot more professional than me, she knows a lot more.
Hmm. So outside of playing hockey, what else do you like to do?
I'm actually a bit of a geek. I quite like stuff like Stranger Things, Star Wars, like stuff like that. So I'm quite into my film and TV. I also quite like board games. So sitting down, just chilling out. I'm not really a partier, or I don't go out clubbing or anything like that. I'm quite laid back.
What music do you like to listen to? Actually, I should say, what's your pre-game music heading into a big game?
Our pre-game music is completely random. It could go from like Cyndi Lauper, Girls Just Want to Have Fun, to, I don't know, Darude Sandstorm.
And also, especially, what's your favorite music that you listen to in your free time when you don't have a game?
I listen to all genres of music. I quite like, like 80s music. I really like 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. I like all sorts of music, but right now I've been listening to indie rock.
So obviously, hopefully you guys get your sport back soon, but what's it going to be like seeing your teammates in person, and being able to practice in the rink again? What's that going to be like?
It'll just be really exciting to get back into it, and we all love the sport. That's why we play. So we share that common passion and the common goal.
Who's the funniest teammate that you play with right now?
Myself. No. The girls are all really funny. Like we're such a close knit team, so we all get on and we're all friendly and stuff like that.
So how does the season work there? How many games do you guys play during the season?
So our matches are all friendly, so it's not competitive at all. So it really ranges from team to team. Basically, we'll contact them, see if they want to play a game and try and arrange it. So it all depends on the team and the rink availability, but it's probably about 15 to 20 games.
And what's like the playoff format like there in the UK?
So we have a few different tournaments that we have. We have the Bowl, the Quake, and the Plate. So it's for different recreational teams, and it's just like a tournament at the end of the season. Go and have fun, have a few beers, and just chill out.
So I have a couple of my other friends. They have a podcast too. I'll send it to you so you can check them out. But one of them is my friend James. He's a hockey fan, and he does a hockey podcast. So I told him that I'm going to mention him to you. So I'll send him his page to you, and then my other friends' pages so you can check it out. So
Definitely will.
Yeah. So outside of hockey, do you watch any other sports like soccer?
Not really. Personally, I'm not a big football fan. I think here in the UK it's one of the big sports, but it's just not for me at all.
And so the last thing here before I let you go, would you like to say anything to all the nurses, doctors, and essential workers?
Just thank you for everything that you're doing.
Oh, I forgot to ask you this. How many goals do you have so far in your career?
Honestly, not that many. I'm not a big goal scorer. I'm more of a playmaker, so I set up. So I've probably got more assists than goals.
So there she is, Chloe Young, a women's hockey player from the UK, and this has been an honor. So I just want to say thank you again for coming on the NR Hour Sports Podcast Show. I'll be posting this on all social media formats, and I'll send it to you via email too, so you can post it also. And I'll send you my friend's podcast, like I said earlier. Just keep up the great work. Keep grinding. I'm hoping you guys have the sport back sooner than later. And just keep working hard. I can see you in the women's hockey league, for sure.
Thank you.
But but thank you again. You and your family stay safe.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.